How to navigate a surprise pregnancy emotionally, mentally, having the hard feelings that may come with it. This is my experience and what I want to share so that other people who are going through a surprise pregnancy also may be feeling. I just want to let you know, if this is a surprise pregnancy and you're watching this, all your feelings are valid. How you feel is valid. What you're going through is valid. You are allowed to hate being pregnant. You're allowed to not want to be pregnant. You're allowed to hate going through this again. You're allowed to do whatever, to feel whatever you feel. And you're not alone. So I just wanted to make this video to let you know it's okay. It's okay to hate pregnancy, no matter if you've been trying or no matter if it's a surprise. It's okay. And we're going to deep dive into all the things. This is my experience. This is what I want to share, or what comes up for me in my life. So everything is going to be how I feel. If you don't know who I am, hi, I'm Haley. I have 2 kids already. I have a 1-year-old, a 3-year-old, and I'm pregnant, and I'm due in November with our surprise pregnancy, with our surprise baby. Figuring out if you're going to keep the pregnancy, the feelings that come with keeping it, the feelings that come with not keeping it. Obviously, not keeping it is actually a luxury for most people in most states now. My state in Washington, I can go have the luxury of not having this baby. However, we did decide to keep the baby. That is our choice. I am pro-choice. Whatever you decide to do with your body is your body. We decided to keep the baby. It was an easy but hard decision to keep it, just because I don't know if I could go through personally with not keeping it. I personally, whatever you decide, I am supportive for you. If you need someone to talk to about it, if you did decide to not keep the baby, I will listen. I will never judge. If you need someone, not everyone has that luxury to do so. So a surprise baby could even be more detrimental to their mental health, because they're literally forced to keep the baby, if that makes sense. I just wanted to say that the luxury of keeping the baby or not is a different video for a different time, because it should not be a luxury. It should be a available thing for everyone. With a surprise baby, possibly could come resentment, anger, just all of the negative feelings, because you are not prepared for a baby. You are not prepared to have another baby. You weren't even prepared to be pregnant. It could be hard on your body. Pregnancy could really fucking suck. Pregnancy is really hard on me. Love that for me. Thankfully, this pregnancy, it's been a lot easier, but it's really hard on my body, just being pregnant in general. I will have to have a 3rd C-section as well. I've gone through them before. It's just very scary. Still, that's a major surgery again, and I just had one a year ago. And by the time I have my next one, I would only been a year and a half since I had my last. And that's not necessarily healthy, or they tell you to wait because your body needs to heal, and especially with surgery. I mean, I'm healed, but you know what I mean. I was very angry. I was very resentful because we had things in place to not have this happen again. Fortunately, I had an appointment for a tubal removal consultation May 3rd, and then my boyfriend had an appointment to go to a doctor to see how much it would cost for a vasectomy, and then if we could afford the cost, then we would then make the appointment. So because the way the healthcare system is, by the time my appointment actually rolled around, I was 9 weeks for sure, way before the appointment even hit. And so just knowing I had these appointments, but because of the healthcare system, I had to wait. I made the appointment in January for myself. How long I had to wait is to May, because they were just so booked out, and I couldn't find another appointment to even get it. Already pregnant by then. And so I was very angry, very resentful, very much, what the fuck are we gonna do? And it lasted a long time, probably up until tomorrow I'm going to be 21 weeks. And I want to say it lasted in probably like 12 to 15 weeks. Now starting to be okay with the idea of another baby. I have a great support system. I truly do. And if you don't, then it makes it even harder. The anger, the resentment is there probably longer. And not everyone is angry or resentful, but like I was very angry, and that's okay. The reality is a lot of people have surprise babies. I was a surprise baby. My mom was 19 years old. 11 days later, when I was born, she turned 20. She was a teen mom technically. It's really hard, and if you don't have the support system, it's even harder. I am so blessed to have the people I have in my life that support me. Their dad is in their life. I'm with their father. I'm not doing this alone. I have a support system, but I'm still allowed to be angry, and so are you. You're allowed to be upset. You're allowed to be even more upset if you decided to keep the baby and then your support system disappeared and now you can't do anything about it until, the baby's born or whatever the case is. Like, whatever your options are, adoption, keeping it, whatever. I can understand how people are angry the whole pregnancy. They're angry, they're resentful toward everyone. I totally understand, and it's okay. And it's okay if you don't come around the idea of like loving being pregnant. I hate being pregnant, and regardless, with my 2 other kids, they were planned. Hate fucking being pregnant, but like glad I had them, And so the resentment still may be there after the baby, or your partner or baby dad or whoever. It's okay. It's not all like we all have to heal or handle the emotions at our own time. Along with the anger and resentment is grieving. I was finally taking care of myself. I had a routine for myself for self-care. I had a routine for working out. I did V athletics, which is almost like a CrossFit style workout. Like, they do intense stuff, because I was only going once a week and not like 3 to 4 times a week. Last time I went to V, or the last couple times I actually went to V, I started spotting. Just too intense for my body. Being pregnant, I'm really fragile, honestly. So I did not want to risk anything. It's a surprise pregnancy. Obviously, I would be sad if I lost the baby. Putting myself first and working out. Now, this is not to say that you cannot work out while pregnant. Please talk to your doctor, and depends on how much you work out and what you do and all of the factors. People go to V pregnant. I just personally cannot with my body. It was like having effects on me where so I didn't want to risk it, so I had to stop going to V. That made me spiral even more, because I had a set routine of every Saturday at like 8 a.m. we were up. My boyfriend was in routine to get up with the kids. I would leave. I would have my alone time in the car. I would have V time where I'd work out, and then on the way home I would have alone time, and I would just have like me time. And then when I would get home, I could go straight to shower and literally just like without worrying about anything. And it was kind of like an actual, like, I was in a groove. For 3 months I was in a groove. And being cut off from that set me even more spiraling, because now I can't do anything. Like, I can go for walks and I can work out that way, which is fine. I do that. We take the kids out hiking and all that. But because I had a schedule and I do not like change, it just made me grieve what was taken from me. I felt like it was taken from me, not my choice to not do it, if that makes sense. Like, my body physically was having things happen where I had to stop. Otherwise, like, I could possibly lose the baby. Many people work out. That's not what I'm saying. I really looked forward to those Saturday mornings. It really made me feel my mental health was really great. My mental health was getting better. I felt amazing. Kind of like rode the workout high. Like, I only went once a week because that's all I could afford. Where the workout high from Saturday to the next Saturday, and it was just like a very hard thing to give up when I finally started putting myself first. It was just really hard, just mentally, to literally just stop altogether. It's like it was taken from me. That's what it felt like. So I had to like grieve the process, and that might be dramatic, the word grieving, but that's just how I feel. That's how I felt. I am okay now. I'm just like, well, when can go back to working out postpartum, I'm gonna try Pilates. I'm gonna try, like, if I don't like Pilates, then I'll go back to V or whatever the case is. You know what I mean? Pregnancy in general is hard. Pregnancy in general is very hard. It can be hard on you, your mental health. Maybe you're dealing with like mental health issues. It's just hard. Point blank, period. If you didn't want to be pregnant ever again and you got pregnant and your last 2 pregnancies were fucking awful, I could imagine you're going to be angry about being fucking pregnant this time, as I was, because the last 2 pregnancies were awful to me. I have gestational diabetes again. It's fine, but pregnancy's just hard. One of the things, we're in a 2-bedroom apartment. Grateful to be here. Grateful to be in our own space with the kids and my boyfriend and not somewhere else with a roommate or my mom or whatever the case is. However, we have no room in this small ass apartment for a 3rd child. We truly are filled to the brim of no room. I mean, not literally, but like, we have 2 bedrooms and our daughter still sleeps in our bedroom, and that is not ideal. And I don't know what we're gonna do. So being in limbo of not knowing if we're moving before the baby, we're for sure moving next year when our lease is up, but like, I don't know what's going on, and so I'm stressed, and the more shit I get for the baby, the more room we do not have. Do you understand? So we are like, I'm filled up to here with like baby stuff that's just like not being used. I could see it and it's like bothering me because like we're not using it, but we also don't have the space to, I guess, use it when the baby's here. We're gonna have to make space. That's the problem, but there's no space to make. So I'm just very overwhelmed amount of, it's not clutter because it's stuff we need for the baby, but I'm just overwhelmed with how much stuff and you don't need much. So we need to move. We have no space, but we can't move because moving is expensive. You know what I mean? It's just like a cycle of like, what are we doing here? Having 2 kids under 2, I never thought I'd be me. Never thought. Technically, I had 2 under 2, but my son was 2.5 when my daughter was born. So I did have that, but it was different because he was older. He was a year older than what my daughter's going to be. And so now I'm gonna have a 4-year-old, a 1.5-year-old, and a newborn. I guess enough said, because 2 under 2, like, please help me. It was just like a little bit easier, so I'm kind of like, I'm worried, but that's okay. That's okay. Other feeling is feeling guilty that this baby is a surprise when my other 2 were planned. 2 babies are planned. My son was planned after we lost the first one. It took 4 years to have him. Then our daughter was planned, and I found out a month before my son turned 2 that we were pregnant. So in September in 2022, I found out I was pregnant. I had her in 2023 in May, and then I found out 9 months postpartum in 2024 that I'm pregnant, and we're having the baby in November 2024. So I just feel really guilty that this baby was actually not planned. My other 2 were. I'm an only child, so I was like, we're having at least 2 kids. Guilty that this baby was not planned, and I just wish all of them were like planned, you know, like just, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's a surprise. Just the guilty mom guilt of not having this baby planned. And that surprise pregnancy is very hard is because I have technically either been pregnant or have been recovering or dealing with postpartum depression and anxiety for 4 years. I was pregnant in 2020. Postpartum was awful. 2021, had to quit my job to become a stay-at-home mom because postpartum was so bad. It was a whole thing. My son didn't sleep. I had to work. I was working on 1 hour of sleep every night, literally. Had to quit my job. Mental health is very important to me. Postpartum depression and anxiety is very important to me. I'm very much advocate. So dealing with postpartum again, I was already dealing with postpartum, and then I got pregnant, so now I'm pregnancy hormones, postpartum depression, and all of that is like mixing. And once the baby's born, I already know I'm gonna get postpartum depression, and it's not right away. It's not right away. It's usually when Michael goes back to work, or when I had to go back to work. It's really when that hits, and it's just like an overwhelming feeling. I get postpartum, I don't think with my daughter until like 5 months, 6 months. My son, it was 3 months. It's just gonna be like 6 years worth of pregnancy and mental health issues. A baby, it truly changes your whole life. Your hormones, your mental health, your body, everything. And people don't understand that. And having a baby is dangerous. Like, I'm having a surgery. They're cutting, that was so aggressive, layers of my stomach again. You know? So I'm going to be dealing with, hopefully I can combat it with medicine, but I'm going to be dealing basically with postpartum depression or pregnancy for over 5 years straight. And that's a long time to be in that. I started feeling better when I was like working out and it was getting better, and then I got pregnant and then I spiraled, and then yeah. So it's just a lot. It's just a lot on you. You'll stop being upset either while you're pregnant or after the baby's here, or even a little while after the baby's here. You could still be upset after the baby's born, which is totally normal. A lot of people don't even bond with their baby until like a month or two after. And not that they don't love them, but there's like, it's just hard to bond with your baby. Bonded with the babies immediately. It like, a glass shatters and I'm like, wow, like I fucking did this shit, but that's okay if you don't. Like, that's okay. That's perfectly normal. I don't think, moms always try to shame you, like, you should have been in love as soon as you found out you were pregnant, even if you didn't fucking want the baby. You know what I mean? Like, no. Okay? No. Personally, it's all my personal experience. I'm finally okay with being pregnant. It doesn't even feel pregnant. I always forget I'm fucking pregnant. I'll be in bed and be like, oh, there's a baby in there, you know? It's really okay. I'm now like finally enjoying, this is my last pregnancy. Let's enjoy it. No, even though I wanted to hurry the fuck up and be done forever, I'm trying to enjoy it. I'm trying to like, oh my God, it's the last time we'll have an anatomy scan. Time we're gonna have a C-section. Time we're ever gonna have a baby. And then comes all the little, oh my God, our last baby laughed for the first time. Like those little joys. And I'm trying to really like hone in and like focus on the joys, because there's so much around me that I cannot control. So I'm trying to find the things I can control and be grateful for those. The last one for me is very hard. Having either no one to help you, having one person to help you, or just like a couple people. I feel guilty. If you're seeing this, mom, hi. I feel guilty for my mom being my only child care. Really, she drops she's done this my entire life. She drops everything for me and my kids, or my boyfriend. Before we had kids, she would drop everything for my boyfriend if he was locked out of the house or whatever the case is. Everything for me and the kids, while simultaneously trying to live her best life. Like go to weddings, go to parties, like go on hikes, go on vacation. Like she quite literally isn't going to a wedding that would have been amazing for her, and I feel so fucking guilty because I'm due at the same time. And I have no one else to have the children, my other two, while I'm giving birth. Make me feel guilty ever. She has never in like my life. But it sucks because like we really rely on her and her alone, because my kids are comfortable with her. Mima is, they've known from the get-go who she is. They recognize her immediately. My mom's the only one that can watch the kids, and we don't have the money to pay a sitter. So like my mom truly does us a favor. She watches the kids at every OB appointment. I have 2 OB appointments a week starting at like 35 weeks. That's a lot of me to ask for her. And I just feel really guilty most of the, like all the time that I have to ask. Every time I ask her to watch the kids, I feel awful. Then she doesn't care. It's not a big deal. But to me, I'm like, damn, you're truly my child care. And like, people don't even have my mom. Like, people don't even have moms. People don't even have support systems for that. Like, people have to find sitters for when they go into labor. Like, I am so blessed to have my mom, but I feel guilty because she's the only one I rely on besides their dad. But obviously, if he's going into the like birth with me, he has to be there. Their dad watches them too, obviously, because their dad, but when we need date nights, or if we have to take the kids to the ER, or I have to go to the ER, she takes them, drop of a hat. Like, she does not complain. She does everything for us. And not a lot of people have that, but one of the things I deal with is like the guilt of relying on her only, her be the main person, if that makes sense. That probably doesn't make sense. I just feel bad, like she's obligated to like watch my kids, which she's not, but she does, and she does it happily. They're always taken care of, they're loved, I'm so grateful, I'm so blessed, but not everyone has that, and that can be really hard, obviously, in pregnancy as well. I just want to let you know, if this is a surprise pregnancy and you're watching this, all your feelings are valid. How you feel is valid. What you're going through is valid. You are allowed to hate being pregnant. You're allowed to not want to be pregnant. You're allowed to hate going through this again. You're allowed to do whatever, like, to feel whatever you feel. I hope this video helps someone not feel alone. It's kind of scary even fucking putting this out here because people on the internet are fucking awful, but that's okay. If I can help one person not feel alone, that is my goal in life. Every time I make these kind of videos, I am very transparent about everything. I am very loud and opinionated about this being a surprise pregnancy and how I didn't want to be pregnant, and I am very loud and open about that. I am very loud and open about mental health, so like, if in all of the things that I talk about. So if this helps one person, I hope it does, to make you not feel alone. You are valid, you're seen, and you are loved, even if you do not feel that way. And that baby, if you decide to keep it, is so loved and is so lucky to have you as their mom. And if you decide to not keep the baby, I am so proud of you. I am so happy that you did what's best for you and your mental health or your financial situation or whatever the case is, or if you just wanted to, whatever your reasoning is, you are valid, you are seen, you are loved, and you did not make a mistake. You had to do it for a reason. You did it for a reason, and I just want you to know that don't let anyone try to make you feel like crap if you decided not to keep the baby and you went ahead and, you know, don't let anyone make you feel like shit. You are valid in whatever you decided. Just because other people can't do that, or won't, or believe the other side, or whatever the case is, you are valid, you are loved, you are important. Thank you so much for watching this video. I do have other videos. If you like my content, please subscribe and comment, like, share, send to a friend, whatever that might be. I do vlogs as my other form of content, and I'm on TikTok and Instagram and all that fun stuff. And thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. You are worthy.